Hey guys, this is Marianne Cleary here, and this is another one of my tablet reviews, like I did with Back to the Future. And today, Sound of Music, my first musical I've tackled on this channel. I know the packaging is not the best. Sound of Music is the last musical that Robert Hammerstein ever brought to the big screen. It was also their last musical they ever made as a partnership before they broke away and also before their deaths. So it's a really, out of a long list of movies that these men have created, this is sort of what they consider the crowning jewel in their crown. The other musicals they've done is Oklahoma, South Pacific, couple of others that I can't remember off the top of my head. State Fair is the only musical that they've made exclusively for film. The rest of the movie catalogues that you find in the Robertson Hammerstein are all musicals that they have brought to the big screen from their stage productions. I have a little bit of history with this movie. I've seen this performed twice by two different companies with two different people in the leads. I saw this originally, I believe, in 1999, I should say, with the leads being Lisa McCune and John Waters. John Williams, I should say. And I have an image of that so badly. If you know the Lyric Theatre in Sydney, which is connected with the Star City Casino, my mum took me to see this musical, and when The Hills Are Alive, when Maria comes out and does a big number, when Lisa stepped onto that stage, you could swear that if you dropped a pin or something like that, you would hear it hit the ground. We all were thinking, what the hell? Lisa McCune can sing. A little bit of background. Lisa McCune is a very famous, during the 90s and 2000s, she was quite a popular actor. She's probably most famous for her work on Blue Heelers. She was one of the founding members of that particular cast. She also done a mini-series in Australia called Potato Factory, which is based on a novel of the same name. I've seen both projects. So I was aware of Lisa's acting ability, but I never really knew about her singing ability. So, and John, after he did this, he went on and did a stint on All Saints before that series fell apart. So, and he was also in a couple of very famous All Water Runs, which is an Australian miniseries. That was quite a popular miniseries with Susan Thornton. I probably butchered her first name, but I was aware of those two actors, and they performed it quite well. And then again, about 2 years ago, I saw another production with Cameron Daddo in the lead, as Captain Von Trapp. I wasn't really familiar with his female lead, but Baroness Schrader was played by Maria Pryor, who is a legend of Australian musical theatre. Now, back to the movie we have at hand. This is only Julia's second movie that she's ever made. She made this after she did the Mary Poppins. movie. So actually, they didn't really know whether or not they were going to use Julia because they didn't think she was photogenic. She was actually going to be in My Fair Lady. We all know who did that. She actually originated the role, I believe, on Broadway for My Fair Lady. She would have got it, but they weren't really sure if she was photogenic enough. So they went for a different actor who couldn't really sing. Sorry. If you want more information about my detest of actors who musicals who can't sing, I will put a link to that video down here in the comments. Or if I forget, it's on my blog playlist. It really gets under my skin. And her leading man is Christopher Plummer. Chris Plummer, I've seen him after this movie. He played the grandfather in the National Treasure series in a bit of a flashback scene in the first movie. So Chris has gone on, and so has Julia, has gone on to do some stellar work. And I love the imagery, and you really feel like you are in Austria, which is where the movie is set. It's set just before the Germans invade Austria and to take that particular country over. So it's a little bit, it's like maybe about maybe like a year or so before the invasion, and then a little bit after the invasion of Austria by the Third Reich, and it's around that time. It's actually based on a real story of Maria von Trapp, who is the second wife of Captain von Trapp. And I know a little bit about the history of this particular movie thanks to a documentary VHS that was brought out about Robert and Hammerstein, where the actor that the name escapes me now saw a movie about Maria's life and thought, perfect source for a musical. And she took her to a friend's who wanted to get real music makers on board, which luckily for us is Robbins and Hammerstein. And they worked out a treatment, and then they brought that to the theatre, and then from the theatre, it was actually after the financial debacle of Cleopatra. If you know the history of that movie, it was way over budget, was a bit crazy, and it didn't they weren't really sure if they were going to splurge on such a big production again. So they thought, I believe it was, Fox took a bloody big gamble in bringing this to the big screen. And David Koch would be so grateful. Along with fans of the musical as well, would be very grateful. So it was a big gamble to pull this off. And I believe they actually filmed around Austria, and actually filmed, I don't think the house they used was the one that Maria and Georg actually, I don't know if his name was actually Georg, used, but it was a house that looked quite similar, which was, I thoroughly enjoy the movie. They made some changes, as they do with every real life to movie or theatre production. They've changed a couple of things, but I'm not sure if they kept it true. But the music is, to me, it feels like it's flowing. Like they didn't randomly get into a number and randomly go out of it. When musicals in particular do that, just jump into a musical number for no apparent reason, it really ticks me off.
Hello.
Just doing a review, mother.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
I think I might edit this part out. But
We need you to start cooking.